Okay, I have to be honest with you. When I first saw the source material for today's deep dive, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit.
You skeptical. I am shocked. What put you off?
Well, it's a motivational speech.
Yeah.
And usually when we do these, we're tearing apart a complex business strategy or like a new piece of tech legislation.
Sure, something with hard data.
Exactly. Motivation can sometimes feel a little, I don't know, a little fluffy, a little just believe in yourself and everything will be fine.
I get that. I totally get that. It's easy to dismiss this stuff as just rah-rah noise, but I think that's exactly why we need to unpack this one.
Okay.
Because what we're looking at today isn't fluff, it's a transcript from a live event with an entrepreneur named Gangsta Chef Cabrini, and yes, that is her actual brand name.
Wow.
And she's joined on stage by the legendary Les Brown.
And Les Brown is, he's a titan in that world.
He is. And what makes this so interesting is that they aren't just, shouting slogans. They are basically building a psychological operating system for success.
I like that framing. An operating system.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have these two very different frameworks that are kind of colliding. You've got Cabrini, who is just pure, raw, street-level resilience. She calls it the law of F.U.C.K.
Which we will definitely get to.
Yeah.
Because that acronym it's inventive.
It is. And then you have Les Brown, who takes all that raw energy and gives it structure. He calls it the Cabrini method. So you get the grit from her and you get the blueprint from him.
So our mission today is to decode these two things. We want to get past the hype and really understand the mental shifts they're talking about. Because if you strip it all down, they're talking about cognitive reframing, risk, identity.
Spot on. It's a masterclass in radical self-belief, but it's backed by mechanics, not just magic.
So let's start with Cabrini, the source of the grit. She's on stage. It's her 49th birthday. She's been a business owner for 7 years. But her origin story, it sounds like something out of a movie.
It really does. And the context here is so important. She's not coming from inherited wealth or, an Ivy League background. She talks about leaving New Orleans at 19.
Right.
She has a suitcase, $300, and a dream. That's it. No safety net. No plan B.
And she frames her whole speech around this really specific decision. She says she's celebrating stepping in her own way, which I found fascinating because we're always told to get out of your own way.
Right. It's usually a negative thing. It means self-sabotage. But she flips it. She means stepping into her path, wanting her space. She talks about permission or the lack of it. He makes this point that every business she ever opened, she opened because she decided to. She didn't wait for a bank or a mentor to tell her, okay, you're ready now.
She does admit to something that made me pause, though. She talks about her first job interviews. And she said she would just tell employers, yes, I've done this before, even when she absolutely had not. She was lying.
It's risky, that's for sure.
Is that, we talk about ethics on here. Is that actually good advice? Fake it till you make it is one thing, but this feels like a step beyond.
It's a gray area, I'll admit it. But let's look at the psychology of why she did it. She says, if I told you I didn't do it, you wouldn't let me do it. The key part is what's happening inside her head.
Okay.
She wasn't trying to scam them. She was betting on her own future ability. She trusted that she could learn on the job faster than they would notice she was new.
So it's less about deceiving them and more about this, radical bet on her own learning curve.
Precisely. It's forcing the gap between competence and confidence to close. Most people wait until they feel 100% competent to act confident. She's saying be confident first and competence will have to catch up.
Which brings us to her core philosophy, the law of F.U.C.K. And when she said this on stage, Les Brown apparently laughed and said, we'll see how that plays in Peoria, because it sounds like she's dropping a huge F-bomb.
It sounds exactly like that. And that's the hook, right? She says for years, whenever she hit a wall, a deal fell through, whatever, she would just say, you know what, F that. But that's a negative, dismissive reaction.
Right. It's stressful.
Yeah, it creates cortisol. So she rebranded it. She turned the profanity into a protocol.
Okay, so break it down. What does F.U.C.K actually stand for?
It stands for finally understanding. Common knowledge. Things happen all the time.
Things happen all the time. T.H.A.T.T.
It's brilliant, really. Just think about the stoicism in that. When a business deal goes south or you get a flat tire, what's our default reaction? It's usually shock. Why is this happening to me?
We personalize it. We become the victim.
We do. But Cabrini is saying, hold on. Problems in business. That's common knowledge. Setbacks. Common knowledge. If it's common knowledge that things happen all the time, then why are you so shocked? Why are you so upset?
It just neutralizes the whole emotional charge. It takes it from a personal tragedy to just data.
It's radical acceptance. You stop fighting the reality that things go wrong, which frees up all your energy to actually solve the problem. Instead of mourning for 3 days, you spend 3 minutes on it and move on.
She gives 5 principles for this. I want to run through them because it's like a checklist.
Let's do it.
Principle 1, make a decision. But the key part is without asking anyone else.
That's the loneliness of leadership, isn't it? If you need a committee to okay your dream, you're not making a decision, you're seeking consensus. And consensus rarely leads to anything disruptive.
Principle 2, trust your decision.
Mm.
She has a great line here.
Yeah, about Wikipedia. She says, Wikipedia and Webster don't tell you how to trust you. They tell you how to trust someone else.
That is a huge insight. We're trained to look for external validation reviews, ratings. We outsource our trust. But self-trust is an internal muscle. You can't Google it. You have to build it. Okay, 3 is stay focused. 4 is take inspired action. Now, I see action all the time. What's the difference with inspired action?
Inspired action is aligned with the goal. It's efficient. Uninspired action is just busy work. It's, clearing your inbox to feel productive because you're scared to make the big call. Inspired action is usually the thing you're avoiding.
Oof, that hits home. And number 5, enjoy the journey. She says she's enjoyed all of it, the bumps, the bruises, all 27 years.
Which goes right back to the law. If you accept that things happen all the time, you can actually enjoy the chaos. You're riding the wave. You're not trying to stop the ocean.
So that's Cabrini, raw, street smart. But then the whole tone of the event shifts. Les Brown takes the mic, and he does this thing. I don't even know how he does it. He takes her name, Cabrini, and just improvises a whole framework out of it on the spot.
This is where we go from the what to the how. Cabrini tells you to be tough. Les Brown gives you the architecture for that toughness.
He starts with C, commitment. And he uses that classic breakfast analogy.
The chicken and the pig.
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't heard it, in a bacon and egg breakfast, the chicken is involved. But the pig is committed.
Because the chicken just made a contribution. The pig had to give everything.
It's funny, but it's actually kind of dark when you think about it.
It is. It's severe. But that's his point. True commitment isn't just trying hard. It's a willingness to give it all up, to sacrifice comfort, maybe your current identity, to get the result. He says most people are just involved with their dreams.
They're dating their dreams. They're not married to them.
Exactly. And you can't build an empire on a casual relationship.
Which leads right into A, accountability.
Yeah.
And honestly, this section of the transcript, it actually gave me chills. He quotes Dr. Howard Thurman.
The ghosts of dreams.
Can you walk us through this? Because it is a really heavy image.
So Les asks you to imagine you're on your deathbed. You're at the very end. And standing around you are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the talents that life gave you. But you, for whatever reason, fear, procrastination, you never acted on them.
And they're not happy ghosts.
No.
Yeah.
He says they're looking at you with these large, angry eyes. And they say to you, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever.
Wow. Only you could have given us life. It destroys the excuse that someone else will do it. If you don't, it doesn't get done.
It's the ultimate accountability. Les says, we're always waiting for ideal conditions. I don't have the money. I don't have the connections. He says if he'd waited for that, he'd still be waiting. He'd be surrounded by those ghosts. Accountability means you proceed without the conditions.
Because the alternative is unacceptable.
Exactly.
I feel like everyone listening just did a quick mental check for their own ghosts. I know I did. That one's going to linger.
It's designed to haunt you. In a good way.
Let's keep moving. The next letter is B, belief. And he actually brings data into this. He cites a study of 3,000 entrepreneurs.
This is fascinating. They wanted to figure out the key variable for success. They found that 85% of their success came down to attitude and belief. Only 15% was aptitude, their actual skills.
That seems high. 85% attitude. Surely you need to know how to do the job. I can believe really hard that I'm a surgeon, but you don't want me operating on you.
Fair point. But think about Cabrini again. She had 0% aptitude walking into those jobs. She had 100% belief. And the belief drove her to get the aptitude. Aptitude is the engine, but belief is the ignition. Without the spark, the engine just sits there.
That makes sense. That quotes Ernie Nightingale here. You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are.
That's an identity shift. Most of us focus on the want. I want $1 million. But the world responds to who you are. And he gives a very practical way to build this belief. It's not magic.
Right, the daily ritual.
Reading 20 to 30 pages of positive, constructive material every single morning, he calls it renewing the mind.
And this isn't just good vibes, is it? For the skeptics out there, this sounds a little like confirmation bias.
It's actually neuroscience. It's about priming your reticular activating system, your RAS. Your RAS is the filter in your brain. If you wake up and the first thing you do is scroll social media or read the news, you're priming your brain for anxiety and comparison. You're telling your RAS to look for threats.
So by reading 30 pages of growth material,
you're programming your filter to look for opportunities. You're cleaning the lens. It's not that the book magically changes the world. It changes what you notice in the world.
Okay, so we have commitment, accountability, belief. Now we're at our reinvent.
This is the pivot point. He says, you've got to die to who you are now to give birth to who you must become.
Another death metaphor. They are not messing around today.
It's the cycle of growth. He quotes Einstein. The thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems that this thinking can't solve.
That's the S-curve dilemma in business, right? What got you to your first million will often stop you from getting to your 10th million.
Exactly. You have to audit yourself. What behaviors, what friends, what habits are legacy code that you need to delete. You cannot stay the same and expect your dream to grow. The dream demands a new version of you.
Which requires resources. And that leads to, invest.
And he brings in Warren Buffett,
who says the most important investment you can make is in yourself. But Les puts this in the context of the economy. He talks about the death of the 40-40 plan.
Right, the old deal. Work 40 hours a week for 40 years, retire happy. That contract is broken. It's gone. So if you aren't investing in your own skills, your own mindset, you are incredibly vulnerable.
He drops a stat that kind of hurt my feelings. He says the average person spends less than $20 a year on personal growth.
$20? That's less than a month of Netflix. 2 coffees, maybe.
And contrast that with what we spend on entertainment or just stress relief.
That's the key distinction. Most people spend money to escape their life entertainment, vacations. Successful people spend money to expand their life books, seminars, coaching. George Bernard Shaw said people who make it in life look for the circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they create them. You can't create anything if you haven't invested in the tools.
So you've invested in yourself. Now you look at who is standing next to you and nurture.
This is all about your network. He quotes Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. If you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group.
I've always found that advice a little tough. It feels mercenary, like you're just using people. Sorry, Dave, I learned all your tricks, you're out.
It can sound that way, but flip it. If you're always the smartest person in the room, you are the ceiling for everyone else. You aren't being challenged, you aren't growing. And he introduces this concept that explains why it's so necessary. Relational illness.
Relational illness, that sounds clinical.
He treats it like a diagnosis. He says some relationships literally make you sick. We all know those people, the energy vampires. You talk to them for 5 minutes and you just feel drained.
He says they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. That is a savage line.
It is. But the hard truth is you can't change people. It's a full-time job just changing yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to nurture relationships that feed the new you, not the old one.
Which brings us to the last letter, I, imagination.
Einstein again. Imagination is the preview of what's to come.
He gets into the mechanics of thought here, just the sheer volume of it.
Yeah, we have something like 30 to 40,000 thoughts a day. It's just this chaotic stream. And we can't stop the random ones, the doubts, the fears. They just pop in.
So if I have a thought that says, I'm going to fail, that doesn't mean I'm doomed.
No, that's just noise. Les says the power isn't in what tops into your head, it's in what you dwell on. He calls it magnetic power.
He uses the example of thinking about someone and then they call you.
It's a classic example of that reticular activating system again. When you focus intensely on a goal, your brain starts filtering the world to bring you data related to it. If you dwell on failure, your brain will show you every reason to be afraid. If you use your imagination to preview success, your brain starts spotting the resources to make it real. It's not magic, it's attention management.
So let's zoom out. We started with Cabrini's law of F.U.C.K. Finally, understanding common knowledge things happen all the time. That's your shield. It's your defense against the chaos.
Right. It stops you from being a victim. It hardens you.
And then we have Les Brown's Cabrini method. Commitment, accountability, belief, reinvent, invest, nurture, imagination. That's your sword. That's your offense.
I love that. Shield and sword. Cabrini gives you the raw emotional permission to start, and Les Brown gives you the strategic discipline to finish.
And the common thread between the street-smart chef and the legendary motivator.
No excuses. Cabrini had $300 and a bet on herself. Les Brown has the ghosts of potential. Both of them are saying that circumstances are just the setting of the scene. They are not the plot. The plot is written by you.
So as we wrap up, we want to leave you with that image from Les Brown. It's one that's going to stick with me all week. The ghosts.
It's haunting, but it's necessary. It raises the stakes.
If you were to look around your room right now, are there ghosts standing there? The business you didn't start, the book you didn't write.
And more importantly, they're still waiting. They're not dead yet. As long as you are breathing, you can still give them life.
So the question for you is, what is one inspired action, not busy work, but real action, that you can take today, right now, to get one of those ghosts off your deathbed and into the world?
Don't just get involved. Be the pig. Be committed.